Nikola Tesla and the Wardenclyffe Tower, global wireless power transmission. Why was this project stopped? Who intervened to deny the world access to free energy? In the early years of the 20th century, the world stood on the brink of a technological revolution. Electricity was spreading through cities, illuminating streets, and powering new inventions that promised to change the course of human civilization. In the midst of this transformation, one man envisioned a leap so audacious that had it been realized, the very fabric of modern society might look very different today. That man was Nikola Tesla, and his grand project was the Wardenclyffe Tower, a structure that would become both a symbol of boundless ambition and a testament to the challenges of turning vision into reality. To understand why the Wardenclyffe Tower project was ultimately stopped, and to examine the claims about who or what intervened to deny the world access to the promise of free energy, we must first look back at Tesla's life, the scientific ideas that drove him, and the world in which he operated. Nikola Tesla was no ordinary inventor. Born in what is now Croatia in 1856, Tesla's mind was captivated from an early age by the mysteries of electricity and magnetism. After emigrating to the United States, he quickly established himself as a visionary, working with Thomas Edison before branching out on his own. Tesla's alternating current, AC, system revolutionized electrical power distribution, and his innovations in radio, X-rays, and wireless technology marked him as one of the great minds of his era. But Tesla was never content with incremental progress. He dreamed of a world interconnected by invisible forces, a world where information, and even energy itself, could be transmitted wirelessly across vast distances. It was this vision that led him, at the dawn of the 20th century, to a quiet stretch of land in Shoreham, New York, where he would attempt to build the Wardenclyffe Tower. The tower itself was an imposing structure, a skeletal wooden framework rising nearly 200 feet, topped with a massive copper dome. Beneath the ground, a network of tunnels and chambers hinted at complex systems far beyond mere radio transmission. Tesla's stated aim was nothing less than to transmit electricity without wires, sending power through the earth and air to any point on the globe. Messages, telephony, even facsimile images. Tesla believed all could be sent instantaneously, and most provocatively, he hinted at the prospect of free energy for all humanity. At first, the Wardenclyffe project attracted substantial interest from investors eager to capitalize on Tesla's reputation and the promise of wireless communications. Chief among them was J.P. Morgan, the American financier whose influence stretched across the industrial landscape. Morgan saw commercial potential in transatlantic wireless telegraphy, a technology that could challenge the dominance of undersea cables and rival inventors like Guglielmo Marconi. Tesla's initial proposal to Morgan was focused on building a state-of-the-art wireless telegraphy station designed to transmit messages across the Atlantic. With Morgan's backing, Tesla began construction in 1901, assembling a team of engineers and laborers to bring his design to life. For a brief, heady period, it seemed the project might succeed. But as the tower rose from the ground, Tesla's ambitions grew. No longer satisfied with simple telegraphy, he expanded his vision to include the wireless transmission of electrical power itself. In a letter to Morgan, Tesla revealed his true intentions. "When wireless is perfectly applied," he wrote, "the Earth will be converted into a huge brain, capable of response in every one of its parts." He spoke of lighting cities, powering ships at sea, and providing energy to remote regions, all without wires. The leap from wireless communication to wireless power transmission was immense. The technical challenges were staggering, and the financial costs soared. Tesla requested additional funding from Morgan to realize these expanded goals. Morgan, however, was a shrewd businessman. He questioned the commercial viability of wireless power. If energy could indeed be transmitted freely, how could it be monetized? What incentive would there be for investors if anyone, anywhere, could access power without paying for it? Morgan refused to provide further funds. Without this lifeline, construction stalled. Tesla struggled to keep the project afloat, seeking support from other investors, but the world was changing rapidly. Marconi had succeeded in sending the first transatlantic radio signals, and public attention shifted toward more practical, proven technologies. The financial panic of 1907 further dried up sources of capital. By 1906, the Wardenclyffe project was effectively abandoned. The tower stood unfinished, a silent monument to unfulfilled promise. Years later, in 1917, it was demolished, its materials sold off to pay Tesla's mounting debts. Why then was this project stopped? The most immediate and decisive factor was funding. Tesla's vision was grand, but the resources required to realize it were immense. Once Morgan and other potential investors withdrew their support, the project was left without the capital needed to proceed. The technical challenges, too, cannot be underestimated. In Tesla's time, the science of radio and electrical transmission was still in its infancy. The practical difficulties of transmitting large amounts of power wirelessly over vast distances were, and remain, enormous. But perhaps the most enduring question, and the source of much speculation, is whether there was more to the story. Did powerful interests intervene to deny the world access to free energy? This idea has captured the imagination of countless Tesla enthusiasts and conspiracy theorists alike. The notion that Tesla's work was suppressed by energy magnates or governments who feared the loss of control over the world's power supply is a compelling one. After all, if Tesla had succeeded in transmitting energy freely, the entire economic order built around the generation and distribution of electricity could have been upended. It is true that J.P. Morgan, and by extension the financial establishment of the time, had little incentive to fund a project that threatened the very business model on which their fortunes were built. Morgan's famous response to Tesla's request for additional funding, "If anyone can draw on the power, where do we put the meter?" captures the tension between technological possibility and commercial reality. Yet, historical records do not support the idea of a coordinated, deliberate intervention to suppress Tesla's work. The primary obstacles he faced were practical and financial. Investors demanded clear paths to profit, and Tesla's vision, however brilliant, was too far ahead of its time to offer immediate returns. As the years wore on, Tesla's reputation suffered. His claims became more extravagant, and his ability to secure backing diminished. Moreover, the science behind Tesla's wireless power transmission remains controversial to this day. While Tesla demonstrated wireless lighting and other effects in his laboratory, the large-scale transmission of usable power over great distances has never been realized as he envisioned. Modern experiments with wireless energy transmission, such as microwave or laser-based systems, have made some progress, but the dream of global, lossless, free energy remains elusive. The story of Wardenclyffe, then, is not so much a tale of suppression as it is of ambition colliding with the realities of science, economics, and human nature. Tesla's ideas challenged not only the technical limits of his era, but also the deeply entrenched interests that shaped the industrial world. Still, the legend persists. The image of Tesla as a misunderstood genius, thwarted by powerful forces, speaks to a deeper yearning in the human spirit, a desire for a world where energy flows as freely as light and air, unbound by wires and corporate interests. It raises profound questions about the relationship between invention, profit, and the common good. In the aftermath of Wardenclyffe's demise, Tesla's fortunes declined. He continued to work on new inventions, filing patents and making grand pronouncements, but the era of lavish patronage was over. He spent his later years in relative obscurity, living in New York hotels, often unable to pay his bills. When he died in 1943, he left behind a legacy of more than 300 patents and a reputation as one of history's great inventors, yet also as a man whose boldest dreams were never fully realized. The ruins of Wardenclyffe remain for decades, a haunting reminder of what might have been. In recent years, efforts have been made to preserve the site as a museum, honoring Tesla's contributions and inspiring new generations to dream as he did. The question of free energy, meanwhile, continues to inspire debate and experimentation. Advances in renewable energy, solar, wind, geothermal, have brought us closer to a world where energy is abundant and widely accessible, though not yet free in the sense Tesla imagined. Wireless charging technologies for devices, electric vehicles, and even some experimental grid systems echo Tesla's early work, suggesting that his vision was not entirely misplaced, even if the path to its realization has taken longer than he hoped. Reflecting on the story of Wardenclyffe, we see a convergence of brilliance and limitation, hope, and disappointment. It is a story that invites us to consider the forces that drive technological progress. The boldness to imagine what is possible, the rigor to test and refine those dreams, and the practical necessities that shape which ideas come to fruition. In the end, the fate of Wardenclyffe was determined not by a shadowy cabal, but by a combination of financial constraints, technical difficulty, and the skeptical pragmatism of investors. It is a cautionary tale about the challenges faced by pioneers, and a reminder that the greatest advances often require not just genius, but also the right alignment of opportunity, support, and timing. Tesla's dream of global wireless power transmission may not have been realized in his lifetime, but his legacy endures. His willingness to challenge the status quo, to envision a world transformed by invisible forces, continues to inspire scientists, engineers, and dreamers the world over. In honoring his memory, we are reminded that every leap forward begins with a vision, one that dares to look beyond the limits of the present and to imagine a future shaped not only by what is, but by what could be. As we look to the challenges of our own time, energy access, sustainability, and the equitable distribution of resources, Tesla's story offers both lessons and hope. The obstacles he faced were formidable, but his spirit remains a beacon for those who seek to harness the power of invention in service of humanity. The Wardenclyffe Tower stands today, not as a monument to failure, but as a symbol of the relentless pursuit of progress. And while the world may not yet enjoy the fruits of free wireless energy, the questions Tesla raised and the paths he charted continue to guide our journey into the unknown. In the final analysis, the story of Nikola Tesla and the Wardenclyffe Tower is not about what was denied to the world, but about what remains possible when imagination, courage, and determination are brought to bear on the great challenges of our age. Tesla's dream endures, inviting each new generation to reach higher, to think deeper, and to believe that, with enough vision and effort, even the wildest dreams may someday be realized.